Hey there, welcome back. So today we will add a functionality into our program, and in fact we would be creating yet another new object. Let me comment these two lines in order to reduce confusion to start with. And the name of the laptop would be a gaming laptop. So I will type in laptop, gaming laptop equals new laptop. Now we will also configure this based on our parameterized constructor, right? So the screen would be like 15.6, or in fact it would be better if we give the value as 17F. I suppose the value is a float entity. The processor would be, what would be a processor? Processor is an object, so we will type in new processor. Now again, in this new processor we have two constructor. One is the default constructor, second one is the parameterized constructor. So we would be making use of the parameterized constructor. In fact, it would be better if we create a object first of processor type and then initialize this based on our requirement. That will reduce your confusion. So let us get rid of it. First of all, let us create an processor object. So I will type in processor equals new processor based on the parameterized constructor. Brand would be Intel. Series is 7200U, and this is a string entity. Generation as 7th generation. Number of cores 4. Number of threads are 4 again. Cache memory as maybe 6 MB, as this is a gaming laptop. Let me hit enter in order to show you and give you a better visibility. Then what next? Nothing next, right? So frequency could be like by default 2.5 gigahertz. Minimum frequency again 2.5 gigahertz. Then maximum frequency could be like 3.1 GHz. So this looks cool. And then semicolon. All right, so now we have a object of processor type. So likewise we would be creating a yet another object of graphics card type. And we will again make use of the parameterized constructor. Brand would be like NVIDIA. Then series would be 1050 maybe, and memory would be like 4 GB. And definitely this is a string entity, so we need to enclose it in between double quotes. I suppose everything looks good to me, and let me hit enter. All right, so screen is maybe 17 inches for a gaming laptop. Processor is processor. Then RAM is DDR4. Hard drive as 2 TB. Graphic card as graphic card. Object is already created. Then optical drive as maybe null for this, because no optical drive is present in a gaming laptop, I suppose. And the keyboard as backlit. Alright, so this is good. Alright. Now we have successfully initialized a gaming laptop, and in order to check whether everything is working properly or not, let us quickly print this on our console. So we will print the gaming laptop object directly. We have the toString methods with us, so we would be able to print full information. So the processor is Intel, series, generation 7, core, thread, memory 4 MB, frequency, minimum frequency, maximum frequency, everything is working properly as expected. So this is how we can like initialize these composition very easily. Alright, so now we are making use of custom objects in this declaration. Now, in order to show you how we can do things in a different manner, let me comment out this, and let me copy this particular part from here. So I can, in place of processor, directly use a anonymous object as well. And again, this will work. I can do the same with graphic card as well. And this should also work. Now let me format this a little. All right. And everything is good enough, right? So this is how we can create a gaming laptop where we are initializing using a parameterized constructor, and inside the constructor we are initializing a yet another object. So there is an object inside an object. Let me undo the changes in order to simplify things a little. Alright, so this is cool. Now moving forward, what is next? Next is creating a functionality. Alright, so let's navigate to our laptop.java file, and in here we would be adding a method. This would be a public method. A return type would be like a string, and then moving forward. In fact, the return type should be void. We will be directly printing information on console. The name of the method could be like gaming mode. Alright, and inside this method we will be simply accessing the property which are defined in our processor. Now if we check the processor class, the properties are private entity. As a result, we would require setters and getters to access these properties. Now we have only defined the getter method, not the setter method, and in order to overclock the frequency of the processor, we would require a setter method of the frequency property. So let us do that. So I will right click, navigate to source, and generate the getters and setters, and we will generate the setter for frequency. So in here is the frequency property. Let us generate the setter for it. Alright, so this is cool. Alright, and in here we will make use of the processor object dot set frequency, and we will set the frequency to, for example, maximum frequency. Now we need to access the maximum frequency value from this processor object again, and we have the getter method, right? So what we will do, we will call in the getter method directly inside this method call. So we will again type in processor dot get max frequency, and our work would be done. So we are accessing the object, and we are retrieving the information which is there in the object twice. First of all, we are accessing the object in order to set the frequency, right? And as soon as we are calling in this method, we are in need of accessing the max frequency of the processor. So again, we are accessing the object and calling in the get max frequency method, and our work would be done. Alright, so as soon as our process is done, we can return a message success, or we can directly print on the console. Now directly printing on the console will not be a good idea. Let us return the message, and the message would be success. So this is a very simple simulation of how we can do some functionality and add some functionality in our composition based program and depicting the real life scenario. Alright, so in here we will be initializing the gaming laptop, and by default, if we check, the frequency is set to 2.5 gigahertz, right? So we will be doing something special in here. So we will type in gaming laptop dot gaming mode. So as soon as we do this, the frequency of the processor would be overclocked to 3.1 gigahertz, which is the maximum frequency of the processor. And then again, if we try to print the gaming laptop, then we would be able to check the frequency. Now in here, we won't be printing all of the information. Rather, let us do one more thing. So we will get the processor information, and then let us get the frequency. So let us get the frequency real quick. Alright, so this is cool, and let us print the information on the console. So the first line is the whole and soul information related to our gaming laptop, and the next line is the frequency, right? So 3.1 gigahertz is our overclocked frequency. So this is cool, and amazingly how easily we are able to implement a functionality. This is really cool. So let me also do one thing. Gaming mode on could be the message, and in here let us add in some yet another message in here. So current frequency. All right, let me rerun the program. Here we go. Gaming mode on and current frequency is 3.1 gigahertz, which is fantastic. So this is all about today's video, and in our next video we will try to add some yet another functionality if possible. Thanks for watching. Take care and have a nice day.